So, coming out of the outdoor room, I've got a bed here that's about to be filled with Texas sage. I've decided Texas sage is my favorite, and so that's what I'm going to put right here. Just this whole border is just going to be Texas sage. It's very viewable. They bloom periodically during the summer. They're mostly evergreen, and they require no water. I mean, seriously, this Texas sage thinks it's in the tropics right now. It requires, I think, 6 inches of water per year. This is a Leucanthum texana. Don't quote me on the biological term. This is a Salvia regla, also known as a mountain sage. So it's more of a canyon kind of plant. And you can see that based on where the sun comes here, this plant is only going to get sun for a specific time, and then it gets cut off by this side of the quote canyon wall. So this kind of simulates a canyon. I mean, these are 25, that was bigger than 25. That's almost a 30-foot tree over there. You can see the house is peaked, and you know, 10 foot, even if it has 9-foot ceilings in the garage, that's a pretty big tree. And same with these are large trees. So it simulates a canyon environment right here. I've got one desert willow. I want to see if the desert willow will grow here, and so I only got one. The plan is to eventually have 3. I want to have 3 grouped tightly here because, as you can see, it's an open structure. It's definitely not as closed and dense as this. So you can put, or I can put, you know, multiples in there and see if they'll grow. You know, come to think about it, what I'll probably do is pin this down right here. I'll probably pin that in the soil right there and see if I can get that to grow, now that I look at it. And this is where I'm going to put the Texas sages over here and just have a border of Texas sage, mountain sage, and another canyon plant over here. This is mountain laurel. You know, mountain laurel, this thing is tough. I think I've watered it. Well, I've watered it more than it had to, because there's some periods where it's just super dry, and I'll come over here and feel pity on it. We go 40 days in 100-degree weather. You know, the plant's not laying on the ground, but I'm watering other stuff. So this is mountain laurel, a couple of mountain sages. And again, in the canyon theme here, you can see the side yard, which, you know, I've already shown on video and stuff. Here we've got, gosh, I forgot the name. Sweet Almond Verbena. And the sweet Almond Verbenas just have the most magnificent smell to them. You can see this guy especially right there. The big ones are second year, and the small ones are first year. So I tried to grow these from cuttings too, and it didn't quite work. Ooh, look. We've got some damage from, this is a, let me see if I get it right, Genesis beetle, or Genesis bug. In the mountain laurel community, it's just known as the caterpillar or the worm. So I use finger thumb method on these. I know people will put, they'll put chemicals on them, but I go finger thumb. Finger thumb is highly effective. Now they will dry on the leaf and become food for whatever else comes along that is scavenging. Sometimes it's wasps. Let's see if we see any more Genesis. Nah, that's about it. You can tell them by their web structure, and man, when they get on here, it looks like you take a chainsaw to this thing in about a day. So I caught those guys fairly early. You can see I've got a Plumbago here. I put this here because I didn't know where to put it, and I actually kind of like it because it's red, white, and blue. Score, that looks pretty good. You can see the mountain sage is attracting butterflies over there too. The whole point of this is a butterfly in a hummingbird garden. You can see it's attracting stuff right there. And you can see that the Plumbago is doing great over there. Now let's go over here to the front garden. Check this out over here. Got some Esperanza. Man, I can't mow this. It's too steep, and it's just too close to the edge here. So I want to put stuff up here that will just dominate this grassy area so I don't have to mow it. I put 5 Esperanzas here, And I think I could put one more here, which would probably mean 2 more just for design. So I think next year I'll probably have 7 here, but so far so good. I put these in before a rainstorm, and we've had a wet year. Well, wet for us. I mean, we get 32 inches of rain a year on average, so we'll probably get 38 this year. I mean, let's be honest, it's not like tropical. And so these will hopefully just keep growing here. I mean, it's the heat of summer, but they like this. You can see it took a little bit of effort. I had to dig a little small depression in front of each one for the slope. So you can see the slope is bringing water down to it. And you can also see Mexican bush sage. So remember, I wanted some Bermuda killers. And this is a great Bermuda killer here. The Bermuda can get in, but it can't get out. It's not going to make it through that. And then this is crowded right up against it. These are first year Mexican oreganos. One of them was from a cutting, one of them I grew. This one I grew. Sorry, one's from cutting, one I bought. This one was from cutting, and this one I bought. And yeah, they're about the same, whatever. But there's the mother plant. The mother plant is not doing as well this year as it did last year. I think somebody stepped on it and wrecked it because it was growing in a different area. That's all that's left of the mother plant. So I might just have these 2 left. But regardless, nobody's going to step on this now. It's got some big flowers here. It is impressive. This is my favorite combination. The Esperanza and the Pride of Barbados. And you can see I've got some others growing here. There's a small one in the background. He won't bloom this year. He'll bloom next year. This one here and this one here. This is a 2nd year plant. It just hasn't bloomed yet. And so eventually I'll have 5 here, and we'll crowd this out. And then over here, more Bermuda killer. You see the Bermuda's even trying to come through right here, right? But this is Mexican Mint Marigold, and this is a tough desert plant. You're going to have to work real hard to beat this stuff. So I think I know it's going to get this big, and it's going to get that big. And then I've got this one for backup right there. The only area I would anticipate Bermuda growing is right here. And I need to leave this open for rocks and just some sort of hardscape element. This is definitely the thriller. It's going to be here about 5 months. And this will be here. You can see the Mexican bush sage, and then now you see up the path there, more Mexican bush sage. So during the fall, the Mexican bush sage will bloom purple and white, mostly purple. And then right here, you'll see we have the Mexican Mint Marigold. The Mexican Mint Marigold follows that path right there. So during the fall, these will bloom at the same time, the Mexican bush sage with the Mexican Mint Marigold up the path. And this is what people in the gardening community call a hell strip gardening. And that looks, I think, pretty good. This is all 1st year stuff. There's one plant in here that was here last year. All the rest of the stuff I had to remove for one reason or another. So looks good.